Hello, YouTube. How's everybody doing today? Hope all of you had a great weekend. Myself, not bad. Yesterday, hubby and I did do a run out towards our trailer. Glad we did. We have two huge willow trees in the back part of our property. And our property's not very big. It's only 50 by 100. And they need to come down. They've been needing to come down for a while. We just haven't had the time or the funds to really do what needs to be done with those trees. And the bigger one of the two has been slowly losing good sized branches off of it. Well, up about halfway up the tree, it goes into a V, and there's two big pieces for the V kind of thing. So, like when they V off, they're like huge, like trunks. And this little smaller one of the two came down, like just, I don't know, about 3-4 feet up from the V part, and it's huge. Hubby was talking about going up next weekend, and I'm guessing we're going to deal with that big part of the tree that came down. So that was part of my weekend, and then laundry, of course, because that's when we do it. It's the easiest. We don't do laundry here where we live because our machines are not the greatest, so we actually have a specific laundromat we like to deal with. Never had problems with them, so yep, that was our day yesterday. So for today, I am here for my head to toe winter knits project. Now, you guys have been so gratefully voting on projects for me out of this book for me to make. I do intend to make everything in this book, and I've got to admit, I did not come up with this idea myself. Erin over at Crafting Kitty does it on her channel with Fridays with Fred, and I stole it from her. I don't know if she's aware of it or not. I guess someday I may let her know I stole that idea. But right now I am working on a snood, and it's supposed to be 58 inches long. And I'll show it to you because it's a lot of color work. And I figured it to be 10 total repeats to get the length I need. Now, I'm not a big fan of the snoods or like the long, twisted scarves and stuff, like cows, like the long ones and stuff. So I have done, first off, I'll show you what I've made so far, and I'll tell you what I'm intending to do. Okay. So here it is so far. Hope you guys can see all that. It's got a lot of color work. Now this marker down here is where it was last time I showed you. This is the end of one repeat, the one that's up here. Now I think, because if you want to have a look at the back where all the tie-ons are, it's a mess. I determined it's not going to be a long snood / infinity scarf. Once I get my ends tied in, it's going to be a cowl. So as you can see, it's going to be nice and warm. Keeps the chest area warm. I can pull it up over my face. And I'm going to make a nice little cowl, because my coat zipper only goes up to about here on me when it's completely done up. So I've got all this space up in here that, the air gets into. And it can be quite cold. Like, we've been grateful so far here in Southern Ontario. Before, wind chills, I don't think our temperatures have gotten below -9 degrees Celsius. What that is in Fahrenheit, I don't know. You'd have to convert it yourself. I don't know how to do the conversion. But I'm thinking of making it into a cowl that's going to fit nicely in my coat, or to have out in the trailer, because I've got a pullover fleece sweater that has a zipper that starts about here, and it goes up and then up into a little bit of a collar area, and it zips up there. Well, I don't like the collar part done. I like it open and fold it down kind of thing. But if I have this underneath it, then I can do the zipper up only so far, and then have this still around my neck, for those cool days. Because like I said, we're only like 2-minute walk from Lake Erie, and where we are, we're up pretty high from the water. So when that breeze comes off the water, even though it's hitting a cliff, it still comes up over the cliff, and that's the way our wind comes in, is off the lake. And she's cold. Very, very, very cold. Now, I was thinking last night, because color green, which I don't know how well you guys can see it because I have it right with the blue. Right here, the color green. I hope you guys can see the green, the two different colors. Yeah, I think you can. It's only on one row of the 9 rows of like the 9 color blocks. Color yellow's only in 2. The white's only in 2. So you know, if I were to make this again and actually do it as a snood, I would start off with color work row 4 pattern. Actually has 3 colors in it, and it's the only one with 3 colors. I would literally do the first color as is, and the third color, and then the second color, which would be the yellow, and I'd cut it in half. Put half the stitches with the first, half the stitches with the second. So all the rows are only 2 colors. And I would honestly do this only in a 2 color palette, where like I would do like a long ombre color and then a contrasting color with it, and I would work it all the way up and carry the yarn all the way. So sorry about that. And I would do it only 2 colors, that way not all this color changing. And then with the ombre, that would kind of give you your color changes, which I think would look pretty cool as well. But yeah, this one's only going to be, like I said, a dicky cowl, whatever you want to call it, just because I'm not dealing with 58 inches of this infinity type scarf, snood, whatever you want to call it, and all these end changing colors to sew in. I'm thinking also, instead of sewing in all these ends, I'm going to double, like, knot all the strands together that I can. And then I'm going to make a second panel, but it's just going to be straight knit, like one color back and forth. And I don't know which color it will be at this moment. It will be depending on how much of each color I have left. At the moment, I'm thinking possibly the purple, because it seems to be the one I have the most of. And do the same idea, you know, with front sides all knit, and then the back side knit and pearls, and then literally stitch it together along all the edges, and that way I can hide in all my ends. Although I don't know how well that would work, especially on the end here where the new colors all join and I'm about to lose stitches. Yeah, I'm not enjoying this project. I definitely got to deal with that in a moment. So anyways, so that's how that's coming along. Am I a fan of it? Color work's not that hard. The chart's not that hard. I don't mind doing color work. But I don't know. I'm not... All the strands to sew in, that's my Achilles heel, I guess you could say. I don't like it. I don't want to DNF it. Like I'm really not the type of person to DNF a project. I'm not the type of person to frog projects and redo or not do at all, or repurpose the yarn. And this yarn would be hard to repurpose because they're all short strands. I'm also thinking from this point on, not cutting the strands and just carrying them up somehow throughout the rest of the project as well, which would give me less ends to tie in. So I don't know. I gotta find a better way to do this type of projects because it's not fun. As you guys remember that pink Fair Isle hat I made that I donated to the cancer hospital we have here in my city. It had a lot of ends, and I did it with a fingering weight yarn. So that was not fun either, sewing in all those ends. Actually, I think with that one, I tied all the ends because they were all at one side. And I tied them all off, and then when I sewed it up, I kind of sewed over top of it. So, yeah, it made the back look not the greatest, let me tell you. Again, that's another project I wish I would just carried all the colors up and throughout the project. Yeah, I kind of wish I was doing the same with this. So I don't know what you guys might get next week. I don't know if it's going to be this project still on the go, or it's going to be finished. If I'm just going to say, you know what, cut my ends, cut my loss, ditch it. And unfortunately, I don't have any ombre yarn in my stash. I kind of wish maybe I had a few cakes. Because a skinny cake and a solid would look nice together too, I think. I may be DNFing or like not finishing this one. You guys, I'm almost tempted to DNF this, get a skinny cake of some kind because yardage wise, I feel skinny cakes are the best, but they're a 3-weight. So I may go with a 4-weight yarn. I'm not sure, but get a cake and then do like a white or something with it and do it just in 2 colors. I thinking that's what I'm going to do. I know I put a lot of work into it, but to be honest with you, I'm not feeling it. As you can see, I can do color work again. Like you can see, I've done it. Like lots of color work. But I'm thinking I'm going to do it in 2 colors instead of all these different colors. I'm going to get a Karen cake of some kind. Or a red heart ombre would be a good one to use, I think, as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to see if I can find a red heart ombre. Okay, I've made the decision. This is getting scrapped. So I don't know what I'll have for you guys next Sunday. If I may have the yarn and have it restarted. I'm so sorry about that, guys. But I'm thinking an ombre or a striped yarn of some kind, like I said, like Caron cakes of some kind, and then a second color, contrasting color to go with it. And do it as a two-tone colored work, and then the one round that has 3 colors. Like I said, take that second color and divide it between color 1 and 3. And that way it's 2 color. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. And I can just carry it all the way up. And then I only have the ends that sew at the beginning and the end. And you know what? I think that if I'm going to do that way, I'll do it the full 58 inches. Sound good to you guys? Feedback would be really appreciated. I know it's a lot of work, and it sucks because this, like I said, the strands are so small. It's a waste. I cannot reuse that yarn then. Like the 2 rows I just did on the current block, I can obviously pull out and put back with the skein. Yeah, I've got to rip it out. I got to scratch it, whatever. Like I wouldn't even rip it out. I'd probably just, take off the needles, unwind the 2 rounds, take it as a patch and throw it in the garbage. Sucks, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to see about maybe... And I just spent the last little bit of money I had on my Amazon. I'm going to have to go on maybe Amazon and see if I can find an ombre of some kind to order, like a red heart ombre, for a decent price and get something ordered and delivered, because even my Walmart, finding ombre is really hard nowadays. And I don't know. I know I've seen some pretty okay deals on my Amazon. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm scratching this, guys, and we're going to redo. And honestly, the one ombre I've been seeing on Amazon is pastel colors like this. So I think that will work. You guys convinced me. Thank you. So anyways, if you guys still want to, I should go over my post page. And I have a poll for this book. And I have a poll up for my amigurumis that I want to start doing on Thursdays. There's 3 options for each book. If you wouldn't mind, please putting a vote in for me. I have not been over to check the poll to see how this book or the other book is doing. I'm hoping I'm getting some votes. That will stay up until I redo this and figure out what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, yeah. You know, sometimes as a crafter, you get something started and you just look at it and you think, no, this isn't for me, or no, this isn't working out, or no, I don't like this. And yeah, they're set aside for a while. And like, I know I hadn't touched this for a while. Like, I've done a fair bit today, probably close to 10, 12 rows. And I don't know, throughout the day, I've been like last night in my head, like literally when I was going to sleep, I knew I was going to work on this today. I was telling myself, no, either I should carry the yarn up, less strings to tie in because I pulled it out last night to glance at it before I went to bed. Or, like I said, make it just a two-tone color. And I could do two-tone solids and not worry about getting the ombre, maybe in a white and a purple, the white and the lilac. That'd be kind of pretty. But I think the ombre, I don't know. Should I just rip it out and do white and lilac? Because here's white and lilac together. With the two colors right there. So I'm thinking maybe just do it in the white and lilac. And then why I'm thinking white is because I've got a whole full skein of it. And the lilac, because it's out of all my cake or skeins that are in here, it's the one with the most color in it. I'm thinking that's what I'll do, is just the white and the lilac. And do it just a two-tone square patchwork type idea. Okay, guys, you're going to see something totally different next week. Thanks for listening to me kind of play this out in my head to figure out how I want to do this, because that's just way too many ends. And from this point forward, depending on what color work I have, I think this and that Fair Owl hat, I think were the two with the most color work. I know there are other ones. There's another hat with little Scotty dogs on it. And then there's some wristers. No, those wristers I already made. There's another cowl or whatever that's got color work. But it looks like it's maybe only 3 colors. And the third color is only in the middle section. And a lot of the other color work projects. Oh, yeah, there's this other snood that's got a lot of color work, but it's looks like it's a good 20, 30 rows each, so that's not too bad. Yeah, I'm gonna rip this out and just make it white and purple, I think, guys. Thanks for listening. You wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the video, I'd appreciate it. Maybe a quick comment on what your opinion would be, or what you think you might do if you were in my situation. Because I'm not going to rip it out quite yet. I'll leave the video up for about an hour or two, see if I've got any comments, any suggestions. But I'm thinking purple and white. Like, those are purple's my favorite color. And I think with the contrasting of white would look good together. Like I said, I've got a full new skein of white as well, because I bought that when I went for a little yarn therapy earlier this month. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, guys. I'm almost certain. Like, I'd love to do it with the ombre, but I don't have any ombre or caron cakes or anything in the house. I don't think. No, I don't have any cakes in the house. So I had to look up in my bins. My top bin under the 3 is clear, and that's where I keep my, most used yarn. But yeah, I'm gonna ditch it and restart. I'm still gonna use these knit needles. They work great. No use pulling out my new set. I do have some circulars that are still good circulars to use. So yeah, just gonna continue using the same needles. Like, I love my new kit, but there's nothing wrong with the circulars I have, other than the fact I didn't have a full set, and that's why I bought the new set with the Amazon card my hubby gave me, and I actually spent the rest of it yesterday. So hopefully Thursday, which will be the day I'll be hopefully announcing what project I'll be doing on my amigurumi book, but there'll be no project, like nothing to show you as of what I'm making at that point. So I probably won't post that video or make that video till after my Amazon comes in, because I do have something coming in from Amazon. So that's going to be a twofer video. But yeah, you guys are going to see something totally different next week. And again, thank you guys for your, listening and helping me make up my mind. And yeah, this one's going to go down it's gone. Okay, guys, I'm sorry for ranting on about the same thing over and over again. Love you guys, and I will see you soon. Oh, tomorrow's video is Monday. I'm still working on my mandala blanket. So yeah, if you interested to see how that's coming along, I've done, I think, 2, maybe 3 rounds so far on it since I posted it last week. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get a couple more rounds on it for you. I'm getting close for that mandala to be done. I do want to get some ombre yarn of some kind for a mosaic blanket. As you guys know, I just did that little mosaic bookmark recently. And again, that's another project with a lot of ends, but you can tie those ends off and have tassels on either end. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm just going to find a mosaic pattern I like and then a color I like. I may be doing some yarn shopping for some ombre yarn yet. Anyways, guys, I'm sorry for ranting on some more. I'm calling it here. Have a good day, everybody.